Pam pam pam, param param.
Hey guys, haven't seen you in a while. I know I haven't been making videos for quite a while now, more like a couple of months. But I just haven't had the time to make any videos. So I thought to myself, what better way to make a comeback than make a review of one of the best movies of 2012 so far, The Dark Knight Rises. So yeah, it is one of the best movies of 2012 so far. You know, we still have, Hobbit and Skyfall to come. So the story is, I was supposed to watch the first showing in Malaysia, but something happened in the UK and I had to stay back for a couple of days. So yeah, I decided to watch it in Imax with my friends in the UK. For those of you who don't know what Imax is this huge ass theater. Yeah, you cannot underestimate how big the IMAX screen is. It's like maybe 2 times, maybe even 3 times bigger than a normal screen. So if you guys get a chance to watch in IMAX, definitely do so, because it's not just a movie. IMAX is an experience, so check it out. So yeah, I've already watched The Dark Knight Rises maybe 5 times. Yeah, I'm in my KL house, and I thought, there's a cinema right opposite my place, so I thought, what the heck, just watch it 5 times. I wanted to make sure that everything was in place and, I did not make any mistakes in the review at all. One more thing that I wanted to do before I made the review was watch not every, but most of the Christopher Nolan films. Because, I wanted to make a review where I based it on what Christopher Nolan is able to do. So if I were to judge him based on just The Dark Knight Rises, it just wouldn't be fair on him. So yeah, I watched movies like Memento, The Prestige, the entire Dark Knight Trilogy again, even Inception again. And yeah, what I'm going to say is going to set the tone for the entire review so you guys know what I'm feeling. The Dark Knight Rises surprisingly is Christopher Nolan's worst movie to date. That's right, his worst movie. I'll get into why later, but let's just start off with the good things first. So yeah, a lot of people ask me, hey, well, what do you think about Dark Knight Rises? Because I'm a comic book fan, and more importantly, I'm a Batman fan, as you can see. But yeah, if you're a friend of mine on Facebook, you'll know that I post tons of stuff about Batman, about any comic book that I read for that matter. So people are kind of curious what I think, because I really like Batman. And the first thing I tell them is, you can't look at it that way. Because Christopher Nolan takes so much artistic license with the entire Dark Knight trilogy, nothing is similar to the comic books at all. The only thing that is similar between DC Dark Knight and Christopher Nolan Dark Knight are the names. That's just it. The characters, he takes the characters, he makes entirely new stories about them. Nothing in the comic book is similar to the movie. That's it. So if you're watching The Dark Knight Rises, or any of the Dark Knight movies for that matter, with the mentality that you read comic books and you want to watch the movie, you're gonna have a bad time, because nothing is similar at all. That being said, The Dark Knight Rises is an awesome movie. I mean, in general, if you watch it, if you have not watched any of the movies, in general, it is a good movie. There are some awesome action scenes in this movie. The part where Batman gets his ass handed to him by Bane, that part, it was hard to watch. I actually teared up in the cinema. My friends and I were like, oh god, that was hard, so hard to watch. And of course the explosion scene where you see the entire Gotham, just explode. Those scenes were shot in IMAX, so that's why if you watch it in IMAX, those scenes are going to be so much better. And the acting in the movie was great. Casting again was perfect. Christopher Nolan likes bringing people that he knows, so it's easy for him to direct them. It's easy for them to be directed by him. The only thing that I had about the acting was Michael Caine. Every time he came on screen, oh god, I'm gonna have to cry now. I felt that he overplayed the crying part a bit, because Michael Caine is an awesome actor and he can make you cry just like that. But again, that being said, Alfred, not enough of him inside. I wouldn't have mind crying for 30 minutes if he was in it anyway. So yeah, those were pretty much the good points of the movie. And unfortunately for Christopher Nolan, that's where it kind of stops. Other than those things that I just mentioned, the movie pretty much is average, at best. One of the biggest problems that people had with the movie was the pacing of the movie. I mean, the editing was kind of choppy, the storyline was, too fast at times. Basically you just felt rushed. For example, in The Dark Knight, I was in the cinema and I was like, is this movie ever gonna end? But in The Dark Knight Rises, it was like, what? That's it? It's only been like three hours. And the problem with that is the movie goes so fast that you don't have time to absorb what's happening. For example, you think something about Bane for the entire movie, and towards the end, Christopher Nolan says, no, that's not what happened, this is what happened. And feels kind of hard for me to accept because, you know, I spent 2 hours thinking that this guy is this, and then it turns out that it's not, so. And then there is the problem of the story. I mean, Christopher Nolan is capable, and not only Christopher Nolan, Jonathan Nolan and Steven S. Goyer, they are capable of writing an amazing story, as you have seen in The Dark Knight, Batman Begins, and almost every Christopher Nolan movie. But somehow in The Dark Knight Rises, he manages to degrade himself to the point where it's just a normal action movie. It's like, I'm reading this normal Robert Ludlum novel with Batman in it. I mean, the plot holes in this movie is incredible. There are so many things in this movie that even a kid could contest. But one of the biggest issues that I had, and you know, I've told this to my friends, was the freaking burning bat symbol. Gotham City has less than a day to survive, and somehow Batman finds a way to paint a big, giant symbol on top of a building. I mean, come on, man, there's a ticking time bomb and you're painting bat signals? Come on. That's why my friends and I said, you know, Christopher Nolan is capable of so much better. I mean, like the part where he trains to become the Batman again in the prison. That scene could have been extended, you know, to show how he became Batman again. Instead, you know, after breaking his back, he does a couple of crunches and push-ups, and just like that, he's Batman again. Do you see what I'm saying? You guys might not agree, but the movie has too many plot holes to actually ignore. In The Dark Knight, in Batman Begins, I've watched it over and over again. There is nothing that I can actually see except for movie mistakes, that's editing mistakes. Whereas in The Dark Knight Rises, the story has so much problem that, you know, we just can't accept it. Another problem that people had was the voice of Bane. Now, personally, I think Bane's voice was awesome. It sounds like Darth Vader somehow managed to have a love child with Sean Connery. You know, the first time I watched it in the UK, my friends and I had a problem actually understanding what he was trying to say. But after watching it a couple more times, you know, it's not a problem. You will know actually what he's saying. After watching it 5 times, you know, I can already like understand everything he said except maybe 2 lines. And you know, it could have been way, way worse. If you watch the prologue, you will know just how bad Bane's voice was before editing. I mean, there is this video on YouTube that pretty much shows the differences between the movie Bane and the prologue Bane. I mean, in the movie, he was all like,
"You expect one of us in the records, brother?"
You know, it's not audible, but you know what he's saying. Whereas in the prologue, he was like,
"Expect one of us in the records, brother."
I mean, you could not understand anything Bane was saying. You know, luckily Christopher Nolan took notes and he edited it, and you know, Bane's voice became what it is now. And I'm for one, I'm okay with the voice. And I'm pretty much hoping that when they release the Blu-ray, they release Bane's voice, an option to listen to Bane's voice without it being edited. It would be so cool, you know, just to decipher what he's trying to say. But yeah, apart from that, the biggest problem, like I said, is the storyline. In Batman Begins, in Dark Knight Rises, I didn't mind watching it over and over and over again. For Rises, I had to force myself after the second time because, you know, I knew what was going on, and you know, nothing was worth watching again. Except maybe the fight scene and the explosion scene. Those were the only things that I look forward to watching. Whereas in the previous 2, you know, every scene is awesome. In my favorite scene in The Dark Knight was the interrogation scene and Rachel's death. In Batman Begins, it was the car chase. But in Dark Knight Rises, nothing really stuck in my mind. Everything was kind of like going too fast, so I couldn't, you know, I don't know. Basically, The Dark Knight Rises suffered under its own hype. Too much hype. My friends and I were quoting the trailer day in and day out. We were annoying the heck out of everyone around us. Now, when the movie was starting, I was actually shaking with anticipation. I actually said something to my friend who's sitting next to me and actually tweeted it. If I can find it, I'll put it in the video. But yeah, I was so excited. Maybe because of that, I was so disappointed that the movie was what it is. It could have been so much better, but it just wasn't. It just wasn't. You know, there was hopes that this would actually win something at the Oscars. You know, apart from music, I don't see it being nominated, even being nominated for Best Movie. But that being said, The Dark Knight Rises, it isn't a bad movie. It is a good movie, just that it's not good enough. It's like saying chocolate is a nice ice cream flavor, but it's not exactly the best ice cream flavor you can find. And now for the question of the video, which is better, Dark Knight Rises or Avengers? Now, I'm not going to be biased or anything. I rated The Dark Knight an 8. And I rated The Avengers an 8 as well. But that doesn't mean that they're the same movie and they're just as good as each other, no. The way I see it, The Dark Knight Rises wasn't bad. But then again, it wasn't good either. Whereas for the Avengers, it wasn't good, but it wasn't bad either. It's somehow the same difference, but then again, it's not. It's just what it is. All in all, I've watched the Avengers twice, and I've watched Dark Knight Rises 5 times. So that pretty much shows you which one I really watch. Oh, and I've actually watched Spider-Man as well. I'm not even going to talk about Spider-Man because, you know, I don't even know what to say about it. But I can't wait for the Blu-ray to come out, the DVD to come out. I'll actually get all 3 of them and watch all 3 of them in one go. The only movies I've actually done that for are, you know, Lord of the Rings and Star Wars. And I think that if I watch all 3 movies as a go, that would make it so much better. So in the end, I still rate Dark Knight Rises an 8. I actually thought that if I watched it a couple more times, I would bump it up to a 9. And as much as I want to, I just can't because there are too many plot holes, you know, all the things I said before, I'm not going to repeat them. And if you get a chance to watch it in IMAX, please do so because it is awesome to watch in IMAX. 54 minutes of the movie was shot in IMAX. So if you don't watch in IMAX, it's kind of a waste. So yeah, that's it for now. It's great to be back making videos. But that's it for now, guys. And I hope to see you soon. Let me know what you guys think about Dark Knight Rises. I know many of you like it and more of you hate it. But it's a good movie, like I said. Just let me know what you think. And I'll see you guys in a couple of days, alright? Bye. Ha, didn't think I'd forget, did you? See you guys soon.
We watch our favorite TV shows. Jersey Shore. Yeah. Jordan Shore. What? The Hills. Sun. Laguna Beach. Represent. And of course, our favorite, The Only Way is Essex.
Love those guys, man. He's gonna...